Hello and welcome to Is There Something in This, the podcast where we have I don't know what this
Let's
is about.
be honest. We don't. What are we even doing?
We have a weekly writers meeting
Yeah.
where we pitch cartoons to the
Yeah.
New Yorker and occasionally we sell them. But they're not buying any things, Jason, any
No,
cartoons.
they're on a summer break, Scott.
Oh.
So that's why we're doing a mini pod for you guys today, because we didn't want you to be without our wonderful voices for a whole
That's
week.
right.
I got a message from a mate who was saying, "Oh, I usually listen when I go for a walk or take out the trash or something." That's it's good
Why
listening.
all your mates, you paint them, like everyone that writes in sounds like someone who is
Wow.
offering demands to police in a siege outside the Gold Coast. Like, there's about, yeah, mate, I'm gonna, I need, listen, I'll come peacefully, but I'm gonna need a copy of Bathurst from '87. Rocky, mate. Oh, what a race. Yeah.
The best compliment I got from one of my mates who listens is I go, "Oh, thanks. I really appreciate you listening, mate. Thanks for the feedback." And he goes, "That's fine. The weather's shit, so I'm backlogged on podcasts anyway."
That's great. Great.
Good on you, Michael. Cheers, mate.
If it wasn't cold,
Yeah.
I would never have
No.
heard this bullshit.
That's literally what he said. Yep. So good on you, mate. Thank you. Yeah, so no sales for cartoons this particular week because this is their summer break. It's a double issue. So the issue we got in our mailboxes we'll have to read for 2 weeks. It's extra thick. Oh. It's a great cover, though. It's dog in a pool. Both my favourite things.
Got me. Dogs and pools.
Dogs and
They're
pools.
your favourite things.
Well, as far as pictures go, how good are pools?
So, okay,
Okay,
Desert Island.
go on.
You've got two endless books because
Mm-hmm.
it's a made-up Desert Island. Okay. In one of the books,
Yes.
dogs and pools, nothing but dogs and pools.
Yeah,
You
mate.
will this will be it for an eternity.
Shut up and take my money.
The other book
Mm-hmm.
is Naked Ladies. What are you going with? Now you're here forever,
I'm here forever.
and
now,
this
when
is
you
an
say
unlimited book.
now, when you say forever, I have to clarify this. When you say forever, is this purgatory? Am I immortal, or will I die eventually? I'm here for the rest of my days.
It's
or I'm-
purgatory, but spoiler alert, you also die. But after, like, you die after, like, 10,000 years.
Oh, that's easy. It's dogs and pools.
yeah.
It's a given. Yeah. I mean, if I was to die,
You go through
soon-
the next round.
Yeah. Good on me.
So we're going to do some listener suggestions.
Yes.
Oh, how did we go last week?
Oh,
Just out of
we
habit.
went pretty good. Our daily, we've got a bunch of dailies
Yeah, we've got a couple of dailies
in the hopper. Now, the Hopper is not the late Dennis Hopper. It is basically something to describe.
Wait, is Dennis Hopper dead?
Yeah, mate, he died.
Easy
Did you not
rider.
get the news?
No.
Oh,
When did he die?
I think he died last year. I think it was
I'm
a
at
heart
the
attack.
point now. I told you that I'm at the point now where I discover a new band and then
Yeah.
I Google them and they broke up in 2013.
You know what? Oh, can I just tell you something? Do you know when he died? May 2010.
Wow.
Died May 2010.
That
Venice.
was before Collingwood had registered their drought-breaking premiership.
I like how you measure everything in what Collingwood was doing.
Heredia Lumumba was still a young Harry O'Brien playing on the halfback flank for a bunch of upstarts called Collingwood.
To be fair, I do measure American history in Yankees baseball because they've been around for that long.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's when they beat the Red Stockings in 1351. So Dennis Hopper is off to the races. We're
Oh.
good. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry to
Do
break
you know
the
what?
news.
Even though I've just found this out, it's too long ago for me to be sad.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a point
Well-
where you're like,
Yeah, but you grieve when you find out, don't you? What if you're on a desert island and then you came back to the real world, like in Castaway, and your wife Helen Hunt's remarried, and you find out Dennis Hopper's dead? You'd be devastated.
what stage of someone returning do you start telling them about dead celebrities? Like, if someone's woken up from a coma.
Yeah.
What, like, that's week 2 or
No,
3.
no. First cup of tea next day.
First cup of tea. So
Ne-
Tom Hanks was in an accident.
That'd be devastating, wouldn't
No,
it?
you'd start with.
Yeah.
Would you start with their favourites that are still alive? Like,
No.
hey, LeBron James, you've never been fitter.
No.
Oh,
no,
you
no,
just
no.
go straight into.
Yeah, because there's no better salve than going, oh, listen, you're not going to believe it. Bowie's gone and Prince in the same year, yet David Crosby doing just fine.
Right. What about Stills and Nash?
I don't know about Nasho. I don't know. What about Region Nash? A little
No
known
one's ever called them that.
Crosby Region Nash. Little radio joke for you there.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. So what we're going to do is just listener
Yes.
suggestions.
Yeah, okay. So the first one comes from, he goes, I know you don't want any repeat offenders. And let me just clarify this because I don't want anyone to not suggest anything to us. What we meant was we're not going to read two consecutively week after week from the same people.
Sure.
We want to give everyone a go.
Yeah.
So we haven't read one from old Chad for a while.
Chad's
Yep. Back. And here it is. Now, I haven't read this, remember? So, Godspeed. Yes, I know you said you didn't want repeat offenders, but if you don't get anything else,
Chad is clearly an eagle-eared listener.
and very confident in his suggestion, there's always this one. Office full of stoned people,
Yeah?
guy standing at door with a dog on a leash. Caption, oh, I thought it said pet. Now, you're going to have to, and it says, and I'm out, tar fucking da, Chad.
Wait, I thought it said
Now,
pet.
I don't get it because
Stone people.
stone people in an office full of stone people, guy standing at door with a dog on a leash. Caption, oh, I thought it said pet.
Instead of pot, maybe?
Yeah, but what does that mean?
You know how whenever you're taking drugs, you always clearly mark the door of the room that you're like. The amount of times I've been at the Arias
Yeah.
and gone backstage and then seen just rooms just with cocaine written on the door.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much the whole venue, isn't it?
and been like,
Yeah.
I'll have a bunch of
At the Arias-
luminous sticks,
Yeah.
and I'll be like, oh, I thought you said glowcane.
Oh, I feel like at the Arias you just need a door that just says no cocaine because everything else, the whole Arias would
Yeah.
be just
It's the Hillsong ones that won the best charting record.
fucking Guy Sebastian and his mates. Do you get it? I don't get it. I don't get it.
Now, can we point out
Chad?
as well? There's something happening here. We've got an
sorry.
audience.
Yeah.
Ashika is watching this.
It's a dry run for the live
for the live pod,
podcast.
which we've got news about.
Yeah.
Well, we don't really.
Well,
but
not
I just
really.
say that to tease it because showbiz.
That's not a reason.
I don't know about that.
I
don't
can't
like
figure it
the
out,
idea
Chad.
of a completely stoned office.
Well, it's an office full of people who are completely stoned. So if I were to imagine it drawn, it'll be a bunch of people, big smoke cloud. Everyone's either token on
Red
joints
eyes,
or red
yeah.
eyes and everything like that.
Munchies.
Munchies, smokes, bongs, and then guy at the door with a dog on a leash saying, "Oh, I thought it said pet." Now, maybe Chad was high when he came up with this and thought it was hilarious, but I'm baffled.
Should we get high and see if
Should
it's
we
funny?
get high and then just read it again?
See if it's funny.
And then
Wait,
just-
how does he come up with this?
How funny is Chad? Chad's a genius.
Hey, I've got it. Tools, Chatto, and Chad.
I think we're all. I think we're all Chad. Yeah, I'm a little. I mean, it's very strange. I don't quite know what to make of it.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Anyway, next one: mortgage broker mummy. On Instagram, mortgage _ broker _
Oh, that's
mummy.
the name of the person, not the pitch. I thought that was the joke. I thought that was really funny.
No, that's the person. That's
Oh,
funny.
'cause if
That's
it
no
was-
joke. That's a job. What are you laughing at a
if
job?
If it was a mummy, no,
Yeah.
like as in a Egyptian, like it's got great cryptopia,
Oh, a mummy.
like a mummy, like
an Egyptian.
an Egyptian,
an
an
entombed mummy.
embalmed,
But a mortgage broker.
but a mortgage broker.
Yeah, now listen,
saying-
you want to get the rate as low as possible, so go 4,000 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not the pitch.
We've got
that's
a great
name.
3-bedroom pyramid. It's off the
Now, to be fair, there's no picture here, so it may well be a mummy. I don't know if it's a mummy that's texted us this, DM'd us.
as in a mother
No, a mummy from Egypt.
who's
May have DM'd
The
us.
name of the person is mortgage broker mommy.
Yeah, MUMMY, which implies English or Australian.
Or Egyptian dead person.
Egyptian king, I think you'll find. Okay, so here it is. Hi, Jason and Dools. Long-time listener, first-time suggester.
Always love it.
Love it.
If you put that, you'll get read out.
You're
Yeah.
in. Is there something in this? Oh, and she's on brand. How good's being on brand?
I know. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Mortgage Broker Mummy. Is the thing on Trump's head...
That's a little Letterman reference. I like that. This person is ticking a lot of
Yeah.
Thule boxes
I
at the
feel
moment.
like this is like, you know when an algorithm tries to find the perfect
Yeah,
song?
yeah.
Or like make the perfect celebrity?
It's like one of these jokes, which is, I played 1,000 bots. Is there something in this for 1,000 hours? And got them
Yeah.
to pitch a cartoon. And this is
Yeah.
what it came up with.
This is-
and this is perfect.
This is the Kasparov of is there something in this picture?
Yeah. This is the deep blue.
Okay, deep blue. Is the thing on Trump's head the fox from Fox News? And perhaps it whispers to him while it's curled up on his head. All the best with your TV show, Mel. P.S. Do you think you can do that Westworld podcast? I'm so confused.
Yeah, we can do a Westworld podcast.
Did you watch the finale yet?
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
What do you
okay.
think?
I'm not going to talk about it on the pod because a lot of people haven't caught up yet in Australia.
Oh,
But
okay.
we'll talk about it off air.
All right.
Yeah. You've got it. We could very well do a Westworld mini pod, you and I. Because you're very observant. You always pick up all the little tidbits. I don't know if you rewatch, or do
No,
you
I
just
don't actually. I don't rewatch.
do you read the Reddit or the wiki? or
No,
anything?
no, I don't do that.
Yeah, okay.
Ashka used to listen to the podcast.
There's
But
a
she's
podcast?
huge nerd.
This is the guy.
Such
Yeah,
a
okay,
big
all
nerd.
right. This is the guy who went immediately to Egyptian mummy when someone said mortgage broker mummy.
Hey.
Oh, ancient
If
Egypt.
you find me a bigger Brendan Fraser head, and I'll find you a liar.
Yeah, they're remaking that
About time.
with The Rock or something, I think.
They're remaking. Didn't they remake it already? And it was with Tom Cruise.
Oh, that's who I'm thinking of. No, The Rock is Skyscraper.
This is your Dennis Hopper.
It
You
is my
found out
Dennis
that
Hopper.
Not only have they done this thing, it failed.
It failed, yeah. So look, with this one, the fox whispering into Trump's ear. So clearly, it's the thing on Trump's head is not hair. It's a fox that's curled up, and it's like that. It reminds me of that Mark Knight cartoon in the Herald Sun. Tony Mockbell when they found him.
That's right.
It's a two-panel.
What was his deal? He was in. They found him
Where
in
did he
Iraq
go?
or something.
Was it Iraq or Rome or something? Or
Rome. That's right.
Was it? He was in Italy somewhere, and when he Tony Mockbell, for those who don't know, he was a underworld figure. Let's call him like a Godfather-like figure, and he fled to somewhere in
Melbourne.
Italy, from Melbourne.
To Greece? No, he's found in
It was
Greece.
Greece. It was Greece.
He's found in Greece.
And the cops finally found him. The feds found him. And so this great cartoon, and he was so well known for having this weird sort of hairpiece. He's a
Yeah,
bit
that's true.
vain. His sides of his hair were a different color than the hairpiece on top, much like our president. So the cartoon was two-panel. Left was stick 'em up, right? So a couple of cops pointing guns at him.
Oh.
And then the second panel,
The hair.
He's just sitting there, but then the hair is like a weasel or something, and it's got its hands up. Classic
it's
night.
Classic night.
Classic night. Love it. So the fox whispering into Trump's ear, presumably stuff that Murdoch wants to further, or whatever the Fox News.
Is it a touch SS? Like,
I don't know. SS is drawing labels on things.
I know, but that
You're
idea
thinking
of like it's very.
It's American
very
editorial cartoon.
Editorial cartoon.
yeah.
Which isn't the worst thing in the world. I
I
like.
know. It's a good angle. I just think there's
I'm
probably
not mad at the idea.
there's a fun way to do it. Speaking of which, it's probably more of a Mad cartoon than a New Yorker cartoon.
Yeah. Because it is a nice idea. Because
Yeah.
it's funny, and the thing that Mortgage Broker Mummy has kind of tapped on here. I want to use that as seriously as possible, where possible. Well, if I'm to quote Mortgage Broker Mummy, sorry, Mortgage _ Broker
Yeah.
_ Mummy,
Bit of respect, please. Thank you.
is that because everything's been so frantic,
Yes.
we've completely taken our eye off the hair.
We really have.
Like remember when
I
he was
think
on The
that's
Apprentice
point.
and everyone would just laugh at his hair?
Yeah.
And now he's ripping parents from
Yeah,
kids and all this
people
stuff.
aren't focused on the hair
We're
anymore.
not teasing him enough about that.
You're absolutely right. And you know what?
Are we the brave comedy
You and
duo
I.
that misses the point completely? And it's still fucking like, he's got a funny head.
I think we've proven over 14 episodes that we absolutely are those
His
brave
suits look
souls.
big.
Doesn't he look silly? Look at his little hands.
He's got a weird tie on. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't know. But yeah.
So anything that you can come up with on that one, just based around that?
The mortgage, the. I actually feel there's a lot more in the idea of a mummy being a mortgage broker.
You have a better brain than I in taking existing ideas like that and warping them through
This is a lovely way to say
Your mind is
you're an elaborate
deranged.
joke thief.
No. You're a deranged person who can take something inherently odd and make it very funny, but you run it through some kind of lateral thinking filter.
Is there something in the idea of like the wig being an experiment that's clearly failed?
That's not bad. Yeah. Like even him as being, I think I talked about him being Geppetto's beta. You know, like
Well, that could
he
go
kept
back
lying,
to that.
but his nose
yeah,
never
his
got big.
nose didn't grow.
Yeah, he's the prototype. I like the idea that the hair is something mutant that maybe is a symbiotic relationship. It's like because there's
It's a bit of a Simpsons joke, though. Remember when Homer got Snake's wig, and the wig took hold. It was one of the Treehouse of Horror
that's
episodes.
right.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
jeez.
Which is where I
Good
think
memory, yeah.
the night hands up kind of sounded familiar to me because that happened. They had a shootout with the
Yeah.
hair and they
right.
personified it.
That's right. Wow. Yeah. Geez, that's going back.
The-
I think that's House of Horrors 13 or something.
That's
15 years ago.
Yeah.
I would say, as far as cartoons that have, something that insane and silly and visual, that's more a Mad
Yeah.
thing than a New Yorker thing. That said, we also sell to Mad all the time, so maybe we can pitch it to Mad.
What if it's two foxes watching the news?
Yes.
Saying, "I told you my cousin got a government job."
That's
and
not
it's
too
clear that
bad.
it's like the hair.
What about this?
Yeah, as opposed to the hair being.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
They recognise it. Check out Jerry. He's really made it. Like, oh, he thinks he's
Still working for the government.
Thinks
yeah.
he's a big wig.
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Hello.
All right. Or even just like, I like the idea of a couple of foxes watching Fox News just going, bit much.
That's pretty funny.
But now, you have asked me this before and I didn't have an answer. Bit much. Is that a British Australian thing or is that an American thing as well? Do they say it as a bit much?
Americans wouldn't say it.
Nah, see, that's the problem. That's our audience.
I do like the idea of foxes like trying to get them to change the name of Fox News. Like a
Yeah.
couple of really liberal foxes go, well, I mean, Wolf News. I mean, are we married to Fox?
Wolf News. Fuck, why? How did they
wolves
come up?
literally eat babies. Like this.
No, I think you'll find that it's dingoes, mate. What is the Fox connection to Fox News? What is that about even? Where did that derive?
20th Century Fox.
Oh, but where did that come from? How did
know,
Murdoch
but-
figure it? Did Murdoch buy it? Or did he invent it?
No, he didn't invent Fox
Okay.
as a broadcaster. I think the model was Sky.
Yeah, but then Sky, I get. Fox. Shut up! Sorry, Scott's just.
Ashika has been terrified of making noise while
Yeah.
we've been doing a podcast.
And even at the best of times, she's like a ghost.
So-
she doesn't make any noise.
So, and I've said a million times, it's fine.
You
You
can-
can do whatever. Have I ever told you this story?
Oh, we're gonna have to cut
Hey,
that out.
Can you just wait 1 second? Oh, great.
Go on.
Jesus.
Go on then.
Hey, can I tell the radio story? The naked story.
Are you sure?
So, I used to do this radio show, right?
Yeah.
And from America into Australia. And
Okay.
it was overnight and it was the worst time.
I remember
The
this.
fact that Ashika and I are still talking, let alone living together, is
Oh
beyond me.
boy. Okay.
So we were doing it. We were doing it once
Are you able to go back to Australia? Is that the end of the
in our old flat. So I'd be via Skype.
Yeah.
I'd have this whole setup, and
This is in Alphabet City.
this was in Alphabet
Yeah,
City
yeah,
at
yeah.
Ashika's place one time. A really small flat.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. they're not very big over there.
they're
yeah.
not big.
Yeah.
So because I have a tendency to yell, Ashika would take a sleeping tablet. I would do the show. But then this one night, she
You
got up-
switched.
So I'm doing the Skype thing.
Yeah.
And the thing is, in a radio studio,
Yes.
they've got massive flat screen televisions, like big things.
Of course,
and
yeah.
I am up on them all around the studio so they can see me. They've got a line of sight. The producer's got a line of sight with me,
Wow.
who's doing the panel, so
Yeah,
that
yeah,
if I'm
yeah.
about to talk, they don't kind of
Yeah.
go to a song. And my co-host has the thing so he can see it and all this stuff, the guests and stuff. It's there. It's also out in the main bullpen.
Okay.
Right? In the middle of the night, Ashka needs to get up to go and powder her nose.
Oh no. Is this a little kid coming in and dancing her way into her dad's
No.
during a BBC
No,
economics interview?
Just a naked adult being shown on large screens in the most misogynistic radio station known to man, Triple M. Do you
Wow.
know how misogynistic? They had to fire a guy for making a joke about an obstetrician fingering one of his co-hosts' wives. Just that happened
I think
like
we have
last
an
40
episode title. That's insane.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that. That is
But
that
I got
is dreadful.
I got to say,
That's awful.
I reckon they were going to give me the flick, but they thought, you know what?
Give him a couple more months. Let's just see if Stills can really.
Yeah, let's just see.
Yeah, and
Guys, do you want me to come to Australia? I can come down and do a couple of... No, it's fine there, mate. Fine there. Stay there.
That's amazing.
Still living with that chick?
Yeah, they've been sending like baskets of flowers and wine just to keep the relationship alive.
No
on
underwear.
your behalf.
Yeah, on my behalf.
Just from Scott, but it's spelt wrong.
yeah.
Jesus.
It's like a cat wrote it.
That's unbelievable. Well, look, just let it be known that she's fully clothed here.
So
Anyway, and it's audio only.
the fox. What were we talking about? Foxes or something?
Yeah, look, Mortgage Broker Mummy, and I know we've really spent some time on this one. I feel like it's more of a mad cartoon. I'll scribble it up. I'll give you a look at what it
mind
looks
it,
like.
yeah.
But I think that maybe it's more of the foxes looking at, like the parents going, oh, we're so proud of our boy.
I think that's kind of the idea of...
Yeah. He's really made it, and it's the fox on top of
Because I think that the fox and then talking
Yeah.
and then telling him, it's just one step too far.
Yeah.
maybe.
And there are, exactly. There are the steps that you have to look at. And if it's one too many steps, it's just like, it's too much. You have 4 seconds, basically.
I think it's a solid joke, though.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mortgage Broker
Thank you.
Mama.
Never
Mummy.
never say that again. Unless she submits another one. The next one from Kane Sanders on Twitter. Thanks, Kane.
It's such a made-up name.
Isn't it? Yeah. Hi, Jason, in brackets, and Scott.
Oh, I don't care for that, Kane. Prepare to have your idea just demolished.
This is what you get for not replying to your DMs and blocking replies. Okay. Was listening to the bit on episode 12 about the Last Supper. Can you believe people listen to other episodes? They go back. This is...
No, yeah.
What about one of the apostles looking at Jesus with a distasteful look on his face, saying something like, does this wine taste funny to you, Jesus? Did you use tap or Evian?
That's not bad.
It's not terrible.
I actually really like
You know
that.
I love a still or sparkling joke.
Yeah, it's...
I am mad for it.
And you know me, I love a talking disciple.
There was actually a great New Yorker cartoon. I don't know if it was a rejected one that was on Instagram or it actually ran, but it was The First Supper, and it was Mary and Joseph trying to feed Jesus at the really long table, though.
That's
and it's
pretty
like
funny.
spitting out food. That was very funny. The First Supper. Kane, that's not a dreadful idea.
That's not a bad idea.
and the problem with that is that we can't punch it up very much unless we
Well,
take it in a different direction.
It's if I had a criticism,
Yes.
and it's only because Kane put my name in brackets that I do,
Yeah.
it could be a bit wordy.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
That
I mean,
would be
you
my
could
only-
condense it for sure, but the
Tap
joke's
tap
good.
or bottled. I don't like the Evian. I like tap or bottled.
Yeah. Well, we had that joke. I think what he's referring to is when Jesus is there with a couple of his mates, disciples, and they say, he goes, just a bottle of tap and 3 Rydell's, please.
Yeah, that was
he's going to turn it into wine anyway. And he's giggling to himself like, oh, we got him. That's not bad. So
Is the joke the waitress talking to her boss, like confused as to how they all got so drunk?
Well,
Going, it's so weird. I've just been serving them water all night.
yeah. That's pretty good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like
'Cause
that.
There's
Yeah.
there's the link, and if
It's not
like
bad.
they're like,
Yeah, they're all pissed, but she can't figure it out. It's like, and they're not going to tip well because they didn't order much.
well,
Just water.
yeah, that's right.
Further to that, Shane Lloyd has sent us one saying, "G'day, gents. Here's a couple. Number 1, Da Vinci's Last Supper. So there's a theme here.
We've got people thinking.
Jesus talking to a waitress.
Oh, there we go.
We'll just have the bread, thanks.
I don't mind that. I was
Yeah.
thinking.
So that's kind of the same. You know what I mean? Like, well, just bread for us. Because doesn't he turn it into
Well, loaves and fishes.
loaves and fishes?
He had 50 loaves and fishes, and he fed a big
Yeah.
crowd.
a lot of carbs.
Now that's funny.
Is it?
I don't mind that idea of being at the supper,
The 50 loaves.
the Sermon on the Mount that happened, I believe,
Oh, okay.
and
Interesting.
and someone going, "Oh, I'm not a big fish guy."
Big fish guy.
Do you have any? Is there anything other than fish, Jesus?
I'm off fish. Oh, how much mercury is in this? What's mercury?
What about a lifeguard telling Jesus not to run on the water?
Oh, that's not bad. As a kid. Jesus, don't
No running on the water.
running
No
on the,
running on the
running water, running on the water. Water, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Running on the water.
Or Mary.
What
or,
if he trips and has a waterfall?
or
Go on.
Or Mary telling him.
Yeah.
Mary telling him, you just walk on the water for half an hour after eating. Like he can't swim for half an hour.
That's good. That's funny. We got one. Okay. This has literally just come in. I'm not kidding. 4 minutes ago. Just came in on Instagram 4 minutes ago. Okay. From the last episode, 3 Sherpas with hipsters on their back climbing Everest.
That's right, yeah.
Hipsters are, go back and listen if you missed it. Hipsters are sitting backwards, i.e., looking downhill.
Cool teacher style.
Yeah. They've actually got a chair.
Got a chair.
And they've got their legs.
This is literally every joke we made last
This
week.
is that
in one
algorithm, I think.
cartoon, yeah.
Is this a bot? All right. Looking backwards, like they're in an armchair sipping coffee. One says, "Ooh, cold coffee. My followers don't understand how I suffer for my art." Social faux pas hell. This is the second one. Because we'll talk about both of these.
Yep.
Scene is Hell's Gym. All equipment is occupied with people looking at phones. Nudge, nudge. Stay tuned on that one. Option 1, 2 people in the foreground, one very frustrated and angry at the other one saying, "Well, did you wear a backpack on the D train?" Option 2,
Oh, okay. So that's
yeah.
the right.
person in foreground wailing, "I only took my fixie on the train that one time." Now, we were talking about these infractions, these social infractions, and how Hell's waiting room is...
Now this is the thing
Yeah.
that I wanted to talk to
Yeah,
you
yeah,
about
yeah,
with Hell's
yeah.
Waiting Room.
Right.
Is the idea of Hell's Waiting Room and being like, I'm actually surprised there's seats. Like why would they make it more comfortable?
That's not bad, actually. Yeah, but the seats are quite uncomfortable.
Yeah.
They're like hard, uncomfortable seats.
Or maybe that's the
There's no bottom to the chair.
Yeah.
That's very funny. And I must say, lastly, oh yeah, so and the other one, sorry, that was from ZTR4, the number 4, U. ZTR4U.
Oh, thanks, ZTR.
Thanks,
for you.
ZTR for you. It's no mortgage broker mummy. Now, we did get feedback from, if you remember, the horse on a horse gag was actually a suggestion
That was a
from
listener suggestion.
From
yeah, that's
Luke,
true.
one Luke
Which I
Watson.
thought was a very good joke.
It's a very good
I don't think we did the caption. What did we
You,
say?
you don't think we did it justice? It
What?
was, I totally get it now.
No, actually, that's good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I like
So the other day when I was teaching those kids up in Yonkers, and I
yeah.
used an example, and I drew up the horse on a horse, and they were like, "What?"
Oh, really?
Yeah. They were like, "I don't get it." And I'm like, horses. If a horse rides a horse, he's like, "Oh, I get it now." And they're like, "Nah." Of course, then they did do when life gives you lemons, use them. So
Which is an objectively good joke.
Really,
which
really
is someone
good.
squeezing a lemon into an enemy's eyes. That's amazing.
for a 10-year-old. That's
Any-year-old.
incredible.
Any-year-old.
Any-year-old.
That's a good joke.
Even if you're as old as Dennis
No,
Hopper.
that's a good joke.
So-
I saw you put that on Facebook or something, and
so
people were
good.
like, "That lemon joke's solid." Like
Yeah.
other professional comedians were like, "That's a solid joke."
That's a solid gag. Can I buy it? So I posted it on Instagram. You can see it at
Oh,
Jason
right.
Javed on Instagram. And there's a bit of a carousel. You can see a whole bunch of them. And it's so funny because they are, I genuinely think they're pretty good gags. I reckon they're funny.
There's some good ones there.
Yeah. I reckon
There's
they're
one
hilarious.
that's hyper depressing though, wasn't it? Like
What a great life
What a
I
great
have.
life, and it's just a woman standing in the rain. That's
Classic.
the saddest.
That would actually get a run.
Yeah.
All right. It was just from, Luke Watson saying, "Oh, I just listened in to your episode about teaching the kids in Yonkers." He goes, can you put me in touch with that elementary school in Yonkers so I can apologise for you butchering the horse cartoon?
Seems reasonable enough.
Yeah. So that's it. That's all the suggestions. Thank you for sending them in.
There was something I wanted to talk to you about. I can't remember.
Well, can I fill the brief dead air with a little bit of sizzle?
Go on then.
I don't know if it's sizzle as much as gossip. I had lunch with Gus Van Sant this week. Just past.
Oh.
The director of Good Will Hunting and Milk and all those films.
Yeah.
He's got a film coming out called Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot, which is a film about a cartoonist called John Callahan who lived in Portland. He did a couple of cartoons for the New Yorker, but he wanted to just kind of come to the cartoonist lunch. After we pitch on a Tuesday, we all go to lunch this same restaurant for the last forever in like Times Square-ish. And so
It's Bubba Gump Shrimp Shack. We can say it now.
It's not. It's the M&M store. So basically, the cartoon editor said, "Listen, there's no meeting, but if you want to come to lunch, or Gus is going to come by and pick your brains and sort of just talk about."
Isn't it a great name
Cartoonists.
where like Van Sant is so pretentious, but Gus is so workman?
Isn't it?
Your mechanic is called Gus.
That's the thing. Van Sant. What does that make you think of? Is because there's a few other Van Sants that like the actor from The Sopranos.
Oh yeah.
What's his
Stevie
name?
Van Sant.
Steven Van.
Who's
Steven
well,
Van Sant?
he also the guy from the
Lilyhammer.
E Street Band.
Yeah, E Street Band, of course, and Lilyhammer. He got his own series on Netflix.
How
Tell me.
how must
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen feel?
Oh my god.
Where they hear us going, oh, the guy from Lilyhammer. Like, dude, I took this guy on the road for 40 years. I sold more records than Michael Jackson with this motherfucker. And you guys are going, oh, the guy from the Netflix original Lilyhammer. I saw him in London once.
What? Stevie Van Sant. What was he doing?
He was just waiting for... He
was on the lam.
He was waiting for his girlfriend or wife or something outside a store.
Really?
Yeah.
Just
And I was doing the same,
at
and
the
we
front.
kind of gave each other a nod,
Totally.
and that was it.
What, a
It was
nod.
like- it was
Isn't he always nodding?
We gave a little nod. No, he gave me
seems
a
like he's
proper
always
Sopranos
nodding.
nod. And then this
Wow.
bloke came up to him. He was wearing a bandana.
Of course he was. Yeah. Classic. Classic Van Sant.
And this was the thing. He was like, obviously thinking, I'll wear a bandana, no one will recognize me.
Yes. Yes.
But the thing is, in London, only Americans wear bandanas.
that's very true.
So
That's so funny.
He stood out like a sore thumb.
Just trying to blend in.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
You're not
yeah,
doing
yeah.
a very good job,
Yeah,
Stevie
yeah,
boy.
yeah.
That's funny. Did you know I was in the E Street Band?
Yeah.
The what? Lilyhammer. Oh, yeah.
Oh, Lilyhammer. Wow. This is 8 years before Netflix was invented. But go on.
Go on then. The lunch was wondrous. All the cartoonists, there were some really amazing cartoonists who were there, who aren't usually there. So it was a good old gaggle of scribblers, and Sam, basically when you hang out with cartoonists, obviously we talk shop and there's a lot of stories, but also all bets are off as far as we don't really talk in PC terms. It's kind of like comics. We're just trying to shock each other, trying to make each other laugh.
Yep.
There's a lot of that, except there was a tape recorder on the table because it's going to go into an article in the New Yorker.
Oh, good.
So it was a bit on guard. But it was a good fun. And he's a lovely dude. He's just a lovely, curious old man. And I don't mean like doddery old man. I mean like he's just a really intelligent, quiet.
When he got up.
Yeah.
Dorothy, where are my slippers? Gus, sit down. We're at a restaurant. What are you doing? You're making a
What
scene.
year is it?
This isn't my porridge.
Is that Stephen Van Sant?
Looking around. Lilyhammer's Stephen Van Sant was where?
That's my son. Yeah. No, that was fun. That was good. It was just an odd little.
Everyone's trying to keep. Gus, they record. No, they're not sneaky. No, he's-
That's very funny. I'm not cutting that. I'm just going to leave that in. That's great. Just got to early. All right. Anyway, so that was...
you had news as well. Did you have news, or was that
Um,
off-air news for me for Monday?
Yeah, it's off air. Just yeah.
okay.
But you're all right. Yeah. No, but anyway, that was a bit of fun. The Gus Van Sant thing had dinner that night at a party, another cartoonist party at Jennifer George's place. She's the granddaughter of the daughter of
What
Rube
are you doing with
Goldberg.
your life? You're doing nothing but going to meals. You're
That's
like
a cartoonist party,
you're like
mate.
Zsa Zsa Gabor. All you do
I
is
was
hang
wearing my
around-
long gloves.
Hang around on the Upper West Side going to dinner.
It was on the Upper West Side. It's this beautiful, overlooking the Central Park. It's beautiful. And all the cartoonists were there. I got a little bit hammered because it was free booze. And then the cartoon editor of the New Yorker shows up.
Classic Chatto.
Yeah. Classic Shadow.
Can't believe you didn't take Sophie. There was a
I did not.
wedding anniversary or something. Free beer, honey. Happy 40th. I'm nowhere near 40. No, okay, this will count. It's free. Here's your birthday present.
Yep. It's actually our America birthday tomorrow. 4th of July was when we moved to America.
Is that right? Oh,
4
that's
years
great.
old, yeah.
Was that planned or was that
No.
just happenstance?
Purely by chance. We landed in Honolulu on the 4th of July, which is an American state. You know.
Yeah, barely.
Go on then.
All right, then Obama.
Yeah, you want to check my birth
God, I
certificate?
do.
So I'll be celebrating that with Ellis J. Rosen.
As you would.
Yeah, because we wouldn't be an episode if we didn't
I was
mention him
going to
once.
say that we nearly got through an entire episode without
Nope.
mentioning Ellis.
I refuse.
All right, then.
All right.
Well, thanks for listening. Next week we will have
A full show with
I'm
actual
going away,
ideas.
So I'm
Oh,
gonna, I'm
okay.
gonna write some ideas on a beach.
Yeah, well, calm down then.
I'll write them on a phone, but
Right,
they'll be written
but-
while I'm on a beach.
Maybe write them on a napkin that you've got a pina colada on, so that it's kind of muddled, and then you have to try
I
and
think it's not. I think it's a bit eco-tourism kind
Oh.
of yoga and stuff.
ecotourism yoga.
Ashka's already tried to sign me up for a thing called a HIIT class at 7 a.m.
High intensity interval training.
Is that what it is?
That's what HIIT is.
Well, that
It's all the rage, my friend.
Oh.
Get involved, you lazy butt. What are you gonna do elsewise?
That can. It's gonna be met with my foof class,
What's for?
which is fuck out of here, fuckos.
Fuck out of here, fuckos.
That's my class. That's where I stay in bed.
That's a strong contender for second for an episode title.
All right.
All right, we're gonna go drink some beers. Happy 4th.